what is up? Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Matt Forte, and we are here live at the Build studio in New York City. Our next guests are absolute warriors, all right? Two unlikely best friends who met right when they needed each other most. Cody Garbrandt grew up in a rough town, and he grew up fighting. Despite his dreams of an MMA career, he was always one bad decision away from losing everything. Then, at age 20, Cody's brother introduced him to 5-year-old Maddux Maple. Maddox had leukemia. Survival was by no means a guarantee. And as their friendship developed, they made a promise to each other. Maddox would beat cancer, and Cody would make it to the UFC and become world champion. That was a long road, but 5 or 6 years, give or take, Cody won his UFC Championship belt, which he presented to Maddox, who had beaten cancer into remission. Dude, it's incredible stuff, their story, their journey. It's unbelievable. And here to tell us all about it, okay, which you can read right now in the new book, The Pact, the great Cody Garbrandt is here, and Maddux Maple are here. Make some noise for these men, please. Please make some noise. Unbelievable. This book is unbelievable. I got to read it. I'm very excited about it, and I'm very excited these dudes are here. So we're going to bring them out in a second, okay? But before we do, we actually have a really cool book trailer. We're going to check that out, all right? And then we'll get this thing on the rails. So, Luke, let's go ahead. Let's run that clip.
Sometimes you don't see the fight coming. Sometimes you get jumped from behind. But you have to keep fighting. A champion and a boy, both in the fight of their lives. They made a pact, beat cancer, and win the championship. They did both. Experience their story in The Pact, a UFC champion, a boy with cancer, and their promise to win the ultimate battle.
Ladies and gentlemen, you better make a ridiculous amount of noise for Cody and Maddox right here, please. Please. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations on this book, man. This is an amazing achievement, an amazing thing. Just to add to the list of amazing achievements that you guys have been accumulating over time. We're going to jump into it. We're going to talk all about it, talk about the story, talk about what got you here. But before we get to any of that, the beauty of Build is I got a couple of minutes, so I always love to start with just how you guys doing? How's it going? How's Cody? How's Maddox?
Good.
Yeah? Doing good? Good?
Yep.
Maddox flew in last night, so he's skipping school, but he's got straight A's, so it's
So it's all right. So you can afford to miss a day
Yep.
or two here or there. Not
Yeah.
bad, not bad. Maddox, what grade are you in now these days, man?
6th.
6th. Oh, man, it's amazing. What grade are you in, Cody? No, I'm just playing.
I'm still in the school of hard knocks. I'm still learning.
Still learning,
Yeah, still
right?
learning.
Is this, I got a sense of how much you guys got to see each other throughout the book, but correct me if I'm wrong, well, this tour, is this like probably a unique opportunity for you guys to really spend some time and hang out together, right? Like,
Yeah, for me, it's always great to be around Maddox. You know, definitely with our book, you know, to inspire and share our story. You know, it was nearly 6 years ago I met this kid in unfortunate circumstances, and we made the best of it. And now we're here in New York, being able to share our story, and it's blessed times that we have right now.
pretty wild, man. Have you guys, like, surely by now you've walked into a store, you've seen like a stack of them. It's real. It's an actual thing. You've picked it up. You've held it. Is it still surreal? Is it crazy? This is your life. This is 6 some odd years of your life compressed into a book, man. It's pretty wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's surreal for me. I actually held the first hard copy today, and obviously doing the media, having Maddox here, it's definitely it's been a journey. You know, it's been an amazing journey. You know, I'm so grateful to have him along the ride. You know, couldn't be here without him. So I'm excited, like I said, for these times to be able to share our story and just inspire a lot of people with it, hopefully.
It's like I said before, back, I'll say it again, it's an honor to have you two guys here, especially after knowing fully what you've been through and what you've done. Maddox, man, do you remember, we get a little bit of it in the book from Cody's point of view when you guys first met, but, and he tells it you were kind of shy, you were a little quiet. Do you remember that day when you first met Cody and what was going through your head at all? I know it's a while ago.
I kind of remember. I remember when he walked in, I was a little, like, nervous because I saw this big guy with tons of tattoos. I'm like, what? Who is this? But then as I got to know him, yeah.
How long did it take before you were like, all right, he's not that scary. He seems like a cool guy.
Probably about a few months. I had to get used to him.
You had to wear him down.
Yeah, he would. His dad would reassure me after I left or hung out with the family and them that, hey man, he loves you. He nonstop talks about you after you leave. So just to let you know, he's a little shy and backwards, and So it's been a great it's been a great bond now. It's always see him and be able to take from those few months finally he opened up to me. I was able to take him out to lunch and surprise him. So it's been, like I said, a great journey. Great brotherhood bond that we had and shared. And this is my little brother here. I'm great to see him doing so well and us doing so well together.
Yeah, man. No, it really is awesome to see you guys hanging out and doing this whole thing. I love that it took a couple of months to wear you down. What were you thinking, man, over that time? Did you think you guys had already crossed that gap before you hit the couple of months part? You were like, oh, yeah, we're best buds.
I thought we were tight, but no, I remember the first time meeting them, just that interaction, just hearing what they were going through, what he just went through with his battle of the leukemia and his whole life just changing. I just saw a lot of fight in his eyes, just staring at me. He didn't say much words, but I could stare in his eyes and tell that he was a warrior. And I remember telling that to Mick and Stephanie, his parents, that he was going to beat this and we're going to have good times to come. And here we are 6 years later.
It's pretty wild, man. Yeah, and we get that in the book. Where did the idea for you come from that, I know what I'm going to do, man, I'm going to take Maddox with me to the ring? When did that come into your head?
That was a seed planted from my brother. My brother's a big-hearted, and he's very inspirational to me, motivated me to stay on training and doing the right things. He's the one that, introduced me or told me I should do reach out to the Maples and do a benefit, do some kind of fundraiser that we could do. I was an amateur fighter at the time, and once we fought for it was ticket sales and things like that. So reach out to Mick on Facebook and said I'd like to get to know you guys and rally around you guys and show that you guys don't have to fight this battle alone. And through some Facebook messages, it's expanded to this.
It's pretty wild. Max, do you remember he asked you, I'm going to take you to the ring with me. What did that mean to you then? Did you even know what that meant, that you were going to walk him out to the ring, or did you have to look that up and figure out what he was talking about?
I wasn't sure at first because, I never have heard of, fighting and any of that. But then after, my first time, then I figured it out.
What'd you think? Were you hooked after your first time, after you walked out in front of those people and
yeah.
The crowd and you got to be in? It's pretty crazy. It's pretty electric, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Cody, talk about how long did it take for you to write this book, man? And how long did it take for you to work on this? What was the process like?
It was a pretty long process. It was actually very motivating. I was coming back off an injury. I worked with Mark D'Agostino, great author. The publishing company has been amazing. But it was definitely a process, going back through, the timeline of my life and everything, how far I've came, the adversity, everything is kind of, in a time that I needed it. I always say this, timing was everything, especially for this book. I was coming off injury. I was getting ready to defend my world title, and I got a lot of inspiration from looking back on how far we came and how far we're going to go. But it was a process of, editing it right, reading it multiple times, going back with the Mark D'Agostino. We actually, me and my wife went to Thailand after the fight, so I was different time zones editing it, making sure it was correct. But it was a fun process.
Yeah, it sounds like it, man. A lot of people, they talk about writing their book when they come on here, and they're like, "Oh, it's the hardest thing I ever do is figure out how to write this book. I had to write this book." And I was curious where that, considering within context, of the things you've done. Was this a hard thing? You've done what a lot of people would consider impossible things. Where does this fall for you in terms of difficulty, putting this book together?
It was very difficult for me. It was something so new to me, to be an author and to be able to write a book with such a talented author like Mark. It was. I wanted to make sure that I was portrayed right in the story. Maddox was portrayed right. All the timelines and dates and everything was in order. And definitely the message I wanted to get was, that his fight matters and what we were both able to do in our life, and we came together on unfortunate circumstances, and you can read more of that in the book, but it was definitely an inspiration to do.
Was it also difficult emotionally going back and revisiting some of these times? Because your early story is really intense and rough, and then some of the stuff, Maddox, that you've been through, it's really heavy stuff, the things you guys have endured and kind of fought through. Going back, reliving that, retelling that, was that a tough thing for you to do that you had to confront and just go for?
Yeah, it was definitely. Mark sat down with his tape recorder, and sometimes I would get choked up. Yeah, just, thinking about the past and, the upbringing, his battles, what he went on, his family went through. It was, it was tough. But like I said, it was a time that I needed to reflect, maybe refocus, all that, and it was the perfect time to sit down and write the book, going into defend my world title.
Maddox, what about you, man? Were you at all nervous about what part of your story was going to be in this book? Were you excited that the world was going to read it? How did you feel about it? What's it been like for you, man?
I was really excited that I was going to get me and Cody's story out into the world.
Yeah, it's a pretty exciting thing. Was there a particular moment or thing you were really excited? Everybody's going to know that this is how it works. This is what we did this time. We went and did this or something like that. Were you just...
When we won the championship belt, that was awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that in a second, man. There's a part in the book, Maddox, where you guys, I forget which trip to Vegas it is, maybe after the first big win, but somebody recognizes you, and you're like, "Hey, you're Maddox," and they're like, "Dude, you're famous now," and you're like, "That's weird." Is it still weird? How's it been being a little famous for a little while now, man? How are you feeling about it?
It's not really weird anymore. I'm getting used to it now.
He just carries Sharpies around where he goes.
Be ready. You just
Yeah.
gotta be ready to sign. That's all.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you're wearing it well. You look like you're enjoying it, man. Let's get into that night. Let's get into the big victory, because that is a pretty phenomenal moment. And you guys, you set this goal, right? And when you set it, it almost seems impossible, right? It's something so far away, and yet you chip away, and you get there, you do it. And that victory really was the culmination of years of hard work and endurance and pushing each other. Let's start here, Cody. What's in your head, man, when they make that announcement, when they go, "He's the one, man, he did it, he's the champ"?
That night was so rewarding for myself, not only because I won the world title, but just to see how many people were so happy and helped me along the journey to be there and to have this goal that became their goal and their dreams. I remember getting my name announced by Bruce Buffer that I won. And after fighting 25 minutes, it was, so I was like, my adrenaline was going. And I see at the corner of my eye before, like, it all kind of registers, because if you see in the video, I'm kind of like, and then I noticed, and I just did it. I finally did this. I accomplished this dream. I see Maddox bouncing around, yelling up and down. My uncle too, who's been a big part of my success and the reason why I'm here as well, Uncle Bob. They were both bouncing around and jumping up in the octagon. So I saw that, and I just was so excited, and it was just so rewarding to see how happy everyone was, and to be able to reach a dream of mine, a goal of mine, and to be able to have that gold belt strapped around my waist, and then to kind of just take that in for a second, and to be able to give Maddox the world title, because he's the ultimate fighter. He's he's a true warrior in there, and he fought for his life, and just finally be able to do that for him was the most rewarding night of my life.
Yeah. And Maddox, how did you feel, man? What was in your head? Everybody's sitting there waiting to hear the announcement, waiting to hear what the judges said. They finally say it. Cody's done it. He's won. He's got the belt. What's going on inside your head, man?
Well, while we were waiting, I was like, oh my gosh, like, what if he didn't win? What if he did win? Like, I didn't know what to think. And then as soon as I heard his name as he was the new champion, I was just like, wow, like, our promise came true. I did my part, and he promised me that he did his part, and he did it. And I was just so excited.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. One of the things I love that you guys would do is before a fight is you'd ask Maddox, "Hey, man, which hand do you want me to knock him out with tonight?"
Yeah.
And you would choose left or right. Let's talk about that decision process. What are you thinking about when you choose left or right for him? Are you thinking tactically, I know he's strong with his right, or just like it's whatever you're feeling?
Usually it was whatever I was feeling, but usually I picked my right, his right usually.
Let me ask you something, Cody. Does he ever tell you that and you go, "Oh, crap, I got to change my stance up"?
Yeah, sometimes I was like, I remember for the TK Mizugaki fight, and he picked I think it was the left hand. And I was like, oh, gosh, I haven't locked someone out with my left hand in a while, a couple of fights. So I'm thinking, what combo can I hit him with that is going to knock him out? And I ended up slapping him, and then hitting him with the right hand and knocking him out. And I was like, oh, the left hand set up the knockout, so I guess we'll take that, So he's good. He's good on his predictions of percentages. So I'll keep every fight which hand we're picking.
Yeah, that was cracking me up. I was reading that. I was like, oh, man, what if he wasn't ready for the left? What if it's like, yeah, of course, you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Cody, correct me if I'm wrong, man, but you're recently, not to get off the book here, but you're a new dad, aren't you, man?
Yes, I am.
I'll hold for applause. Let's go ahead. Congratulations. That's incredible, man. Congrats.
Yes,
I got to
thank you.
imagine everything you've been through, all of your training, everything you've experienced out the window. None of it prepared you for this. That's what
Not at
everybody
all.
says, right?
Yeah, I just kind of learn on the fly. You know, it's been amazing, though. I mean, such a blessing to be able to have a son and be a father, and you know, to protect him and care for him. It was definitely life changing. Everyone told me that, you know, prior to his birth and his arrival that would happen. And until he was actually in there, I was, wow, this is what they were talking about, and just amazing. He's been just on cloud nine ever since he stepped into this earth.
I hear it's a pretty life changing thing, man. It changed your whole perspective. Has speaking of things changing up, you know, how has it impacted, if at all, sort of your state of mind going into a fight? You know, you've always had people waiting for you, cheering for you outside the ring, and now you got a little one out there as well. Does that factor in at all to the internal game before you get in there?
Definitely. I mean, I think about my son and my wife daily through my training, just like I did, you know, with Maddox. You know, like kind of put it in perspective. I had his eyes on me, you know, make sure I didn't fail. We kept our promise, and now I have not only their eyes on me, but I have mouths to feed, and that's the biggest motivating factor, is just making sure that I provide for my family, and that's what I'm, you know, excited about doing. I get up every day with the day of, you know, all right, time to grind, time to go to work, do my training, and, you know, just stay healthy and get to the fight and go out there and perform. So it's a huge motivating factor. I mean, doesn't matter if we get a couple hours of sleep when that alarm clock goes up. We're going to the gym, and I'm able to kiss my son goodbye and come home and see him. So I live a great life. I'm very thankful for it.
Yeah, I was going to ask that, if because you were always getting up early to go to the gym anyway, man. You were getting there an hour before everybody else, 2 hours, whatever you had to do, you were doing it. And historically, from what I understand, babies wake up pretty early, sometimes middle of the night. How have you balanced your training with this whole new lifestyle that you don't really get to sleep when you want now?
Yeah, you know, I don't sleep much, but it's all worth it. You know, at the end of the day, I reward myself with making sure that I go and just work hard and be able to come home and enjoy that time with my son, enjoy that time with my family, be able to spend time with them, you know, after a good work day, a good training day. Just rewarding. But yeah, sometimes I wake up and I'm hitting a strong coffee on the Keurig and making sure that's maybe getting a double shot of espresso on the way in between the workouts. But like I said, so rewarding, and I'm just excited to watch them grow and just be able to be a father to them.
How have you guys? Because you're breathing rare air. You're in a unique position for a lot of people, in that you set a really high bar and you achieved it. You made it. You guys did it. You beat the things you set out to beat. What do you do now? What's the new goal? What's the new pact, the new promise that you guys have to each other to keep pushing and keep going hard and keep going further?
For me, you know, this is timing was everything. You know, with this story and our story, I feel like it needed to be told now. We both achieved, you know, the World Championship. He's in remission. He's got, you know, fourth year. August 25th will be his fourth year in remission. One more year.
Yeah, exactly.
He's killing it. He's doing great. So super thankful for that. Now it's about the next chapter and the next road and next journey. And we're still here plugging away. You know, I lost my title November 4th. Learned a lot from that fight, and it's going to make me, you know, reclaim my title August 4th in LA. So super excited for that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's we're going to turn it over to audience Q&A in a second, but I do want to just talk about how much I love this book, because there's another great thing. You got your story, which is phenomenal, and we get to learn about you guys individuals, but there's also something really cool about the actual fights within the book, where we get inside your head, and you step into the ring and you tell us things like, I see his shoulder twitching, so I know it's coming, and stuff like that. And it really it's almost like reading a Rocky movie, like you're in the ring. When you were detailing those stories and going back, did you have to rewatch some of the fights to remember? Does that stuff stay with you forever? What was that like, man?
There's a lot of pivotal moments in the fight, or something that you remember from each fight. I remember hitting this or doing this move. And but being in there, you don't really know. You know what I mean? It's kind of like everything happens so fast. You got punches and knees and kicks and people screaming. You know, it's really fast paced, and it's kind of, you know, it's a crazy being in there. But I just feel so alive when I'm in there. I feel like I'm just in the flow state. I feel like this is my purpose. Fighting is my purpose. This is what I was supposed to do in this life. And forever grateful for, you know, having the hard work and the dedication to do that. But it's so surreal. I mean, the whole warm up before the fight, you know, we're together, we're in the backstage, warming up, you know, nervous, don't know what's going to happen, you know, the unknowing of a fight. You know, you plan on going out there and doing your best and preparing yourself prior to the fight, but anything can happen in there. You're one punch away, one slip, one wrong move away from getting your lights turned off. So I think that is just the whole thing that the adrenaline rush of it, not knowing, is fun for me, and I think I take from every fight I learn from a win or a loss, you know, and that's just in life, you know. I think fighting in my life go hand in hand. There's always peaks and valleys, you know. There's never too high, never too low. So just taking that balance of life, balance of fighting, career, and just being able to, you know, balance them all and be successful in it.
Were you nervous at all about talking about the valleys and expressing a vulnerability and communicating that in the book? Because you do talk about the losses and how you thought, what am I even doing here, man? Am I even supposed to be doing this? And you have these moments. I thought those were really incredible moments to share, especially when you're in a profession where it dictates that hell, man, you're on Team Alpha Male.
Right.
So to be vulnerable, to show that stuff. Did you struggle with that? Were you excited to do that and let the world see that? What was that like, making that decision, man?
Yeah, I think that's something that every successful person, without failure, there's no success. You know, failure needs success and vice versa. So I learned a lot from my failures or my losses, if you were talking about fights. But just in my life, I've grown so much from my losses. I learned from them, as my wins as well. It's very motivating to be a winner, obviously, but also a loss. One of my good friends always tells me, never be too high, never be too low. And that's something that you can take in life. You know, life can go well and everything's going good, and finally a curveball comes, can knock you down, or, you know, you just can't stay too low. And you got to just keep battling back and just finding that balance. I think that's something that I've been able to progress over the last few years, definitely last year, of just balancing the emotions and everything that goes into it. Just staying just level-headed and balanced and just calm and just taking life as it comes.
We're going to turn it over to the audience Q&A and say we got a couple of questions. Before we do that, though, I want to highlight something. This is pretty cool. Maddox and Cody did this for you guys before we get started. We got 3 copies, and they're signed. So if you haven't thought of a question, you get the wheel spinning. Get yourself a copy of this book. We're going to give them out. First question. Oh, is it online? All right. Well, sorry, online viewer. I'm not going to send it to you, but I'll take a couple in here. Let me see what you got.
So Luke would like to know, Maddox, if you could design a fight for Cody, what would you do?
I would make him do like uppercuts and stuff like that. I would want to see what he could do and see what he hasn't done and if he could do different stuff.
He's putting the pressure on me now. I feel like I have to go out and really show out this next fight. Uppercuts and other kind of moves, okay.
Yeah, there's a reason you limited it to left or right, buddy.
Now we're throwing uppercuts, spinning stuff.
Open that door. We got a couple more questions. Next one's going to be right over here on the green couch.
Hi. So Maddox, I was wondering, since you are a 6th grader, and 6th grade is a very scary time to be a kid, sorry. Do you ever tell your friends how you're friends with a UFC fighter?
Yeah, and they know, like they always tell me after the fights when I come back, I seen you on TV, you know. I'm like, yeah, nah, I know.
Yeah, I know, I'm famous. Yeah, he's my buddy. We've got, how many Liz? We got one more? I've got time for one more question. It's going to be right there on the red couch.
Hi. It seems like you both have been on this like amazing like these challenging journeys together, and I'm just wondering, like, you guys obviously both had really hard days at times, and you know, some harder than others. And I'm wondering, like, on those days, like, what got you through them? Like, what got you to the next day?
For me, it would be definitely, you know, Maddox in his fight. You know, this is a little kid that had no choice but to wake up every day and battle for his life, and he could find the inner strength to do that. I could wake up every day and have another day of being successful on my journey to make it to the UFC, to making it to be a world champion. So I got so much inspiration and motivation through his fight and his battle that he went through that propelled me to stay motivated, stay focused, and even at sometimes the curveballs come, you know, just stay balanced. You know, just know that it's life's a marathon, not a sprint. So he really showed me that at a young age, and forever grateful for his fight and his strength that he showed that helped me out along my way.
Mine would have been Our Promise. I wanted to make my deal of the promise come true, and I wanted to. So that's what kept me motivated. I wanted to make that promise come true.
Maddox, I gotta ask you. There's speaking about like powering through things, man. There's one incredible story in here where you go to Disney World with a broken foot, and nothing was gonna stop you from enjoying Disney World, man. And just was that it in your head? It was like, I'm in Disney World. I don't care what's going on right now. I'm gonna have fun. Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah, I didn't want to go home or go to the hospital. I wanted to enjoy my time there.
Are those? I was looking at you guys' Instagram. Are those the same? Was that from the same trip, or did you go back to Disney World? There's some Disney pictures on your Instagram. Is that?
Yeah, that's probably from that trip, but I went back.
You gone
but
back?
I think all my Instagram photos are from the Make-A-Wish Disney.
Yeah, I'm not going to go too far down this path, but I love. What's your favorite ride down there, man? What do you love getting on?
Splash Mountain.
Yeah,
I love that.
Right? Good choice. Good choice. Cody, you got a favorite Disney ride?
I'm actually not a fan of heights. I remember, remember we went once. Yeah, I'm not a fan of heights at all.
Is that?
Yeah, I'm scared of heights. I'll admit that I'm scared of heights. I don't ride roller coasters. I do well on airplanes, but that's about it.
I read this thing cover to cover, coming away. I was like, this dude ain't afraid of nothing. But here we are, heights.
Snakes,
Splash
heights,
Mountain.
Splash Mountain. Definitely. I actually did not ride Splash Mountain when my family went when we were in 3rd or 4th grade.
You had to bench it out while they went on
Bench
Splash
it out.
Mountain?
Yes, I did.
Oh, man. Cody.
I did. Bench it out with my grandma. It was horrible.
Oh, man. Well, there's something sweet to that, though. That's quality time with grandma.
Quality time with grandma.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's nothing wrong with that. All right. Guys, congratulations on this book. It's out right now. It's out today, right?
Today.
Yeah, that's huge, man. Congrats. You can get it anywhere books are sold. Is there an audio book as well? Can they get
Yes,
that?
it's
There's an
on
audio
audio.
book? All right, they got the whole thing, man. And I feel bad to the person that sent in the online question. I said I wouldn't send you a book. I don't know who you are, where you are, but here's what we'll do. If you follow us on Twitter, @BuildSeriesNYC, we'll do a giveaway, and we'll give away to one lucky online viewer out there, all right? So we got another copy signed. Follow us @BuildSeriesNYC. We'll set that up. The book is The Pact. It is out now. You're crazy if you don't read it. It's so good. Guys, make some noise, please. Thank you so much, Cody and Maddox, for being here.